What's going on, guys? It's Sunday, June 1st, and it's just before 11 o'clock. I've been up for about an hour or so, just laying around, just evaluating how I want to get this week started. One thing I do realize is that I have been trying to pour into myself from an empty cup. One thing I do realize is that um, I need to do some self care. And one of the biggest things I need to do is clean my house. Um, One thing I'm gonna do is sit here and come up with a game plan on how I am going to attack that. You know, Milo, stop. So I am going to probably start by doing my moon boots or my leg massagers for a little bit while I decide how I'm gonna do that. I do a little cleaning every day, but I need to do a deep cleaning of my house, something I haven't done in a while. So give me a minute and I'll be back with you guys. Alright guys, so it is Tuesday night. I am about to fix me something to eat. I took the day off. Just hadn't been sleeping well all weekend, so chose to take the day to get caught up on my rest. Yesterday was a do nothing day, so it was really surprising that even with me doing nothing yesterday, I still did not sleep well last night. So I exercised after my lay day and stayed home and rested some more. I do feel better. Haven't taken that day, especially knowing that I won't be taking many more days coming up on my surgery. So that's where we're at. I finished the rest of my cleaning that I didn't get done on Sunday, which was mainly just getting the dishes done. And Milo has been being a spoiled brat. He's right here next to me right now, thinking he's gonna get a cheese fax. This cheese is going in my Philly cheesesteaks, so I'm not getting any cheese. Other than that, I think I'm gonna find a movie to watch and chill out. Alright, so it is Thursday night. I have purposely been absent the last few days because I have felt some migraine symptoms coming on. Some really weird ones. Well, I wouldn't say weird. I shouldn't say weird. They've been the same symptoms, but I felt them in unusual areas. So normally I feel them on the left side of my head. I've been feeling them more on the right side of my head in recent days. And I've been going through some I wouldn't say unusual stress. I've been going through some undue stress. God told me to do some things last week that I tried to work out on my own, and he gave me the answer to resolving the stress before it got as bad as it was. And because I tried to work it out on my own, things got worse. And then when I went back and did it his way, things were resolved immediately. But anyway, let me turn this other light off. Move my low. Anyway, I baked the cake on Sunday. I filled it last night. I put it in the freezer until I was ready to fill it last night. And now I am making the buttercream. So I just put 3 sticks of butter into the stand mixer. And we're gonna whip it up. The butter is room temperature. I'm just gonna whip it until it's not so yellow, until it's more white. like I said, that beep there is my glucose sensor letting me know that it is expired. So time to put a new one on, so it can stop harassing me. Ah! Y'all fell off the stand. Alright. I think y'all can see now. Alright, I'm good for 10 days now. Just gotta put these numbers into the app, which I gotta take y'all off the stand to do. Alright, the one symptom I'm having the hardest time dealing with still is the neuropathy. I could be having the most normal day possible, and then neuropathy will kick in. Still, for the most part, it's in the morning. And it's always in the fingertips. One coworker the other day saw my fingers, and she was like, "Your fingers are blue." I was like, "I know. There's nothing I can do about it." And she touched that hand, and she was like, "The hand is ice cold." It was just my right hand, and it was ice cold. And it hurt so bad. Some days I feel like my fingertips have been chopped off. Some days I feel like they've been slammed in the car door. Other days I feel like they're being stabbed by a bunch of needles. And then the neurologist and the physical therapist said it's all because of what's going on in my neck. And all I can do is just keep doing my exercises. But when I'm at home and I keep the heating pad on, I don't experience as much neuropathy. I've been experiencing it more since I've been back at work full time. So, I don't know. I'm about to put this heating pad on my neck and hopefully it'll go away. But y'all have a good night, and I will check in with y'all tomorrow. What's going on, guys? It is Saturday night. I just got home from work. And I will say I did a poor job of vlogging this week. Last you guys saw with me decorating my cake. I was gonna vlog me taking my photos for my flyer, which I'm gonna insert here for my grad announcement. But I did a poor job of taking photos. I will say that because I wasn't feeling too well earlier this week, I waited until like the last minute to take photos, and this is what I came up with. By the time I took photos, it was hot. I was over it. I was tired, and I just wanted to get something out there because today was graduation day, or today would have been graduation day. This is the day that I would have walked across stage down in Orlando, Florida. And I wanted to have something out there today to commemorate the day that I would have celebrated graduation. I am still planning on walking across stage at some point. Right now, I am tentatively scheduled to walk across stage in September out of Vegas. That is, as I've said time and time again, that is more than likely going to change. Last I checked, Phoenix has not announced any other graduations after the September Vegas graduation. Once they start announcing other graduations, I will make a decision on when and if I am going to walk. I do know that I am going to do a physical graduation. I'm not going to do a virtual. As I stated last week, I am looking at potentially doing something in January. I know this past January they did something in Phoenix. If they do something in Phoenix this coming January, if it corresponds like they did last January, it'll be around my birthday. I will walk in Phoenix around my birthday and then fly from Phoenix either to LA or Galveston, Houston, Galveston area, or Orlando, depending on what cruises look like, and then sail from there on a either a 4-day or a 7-day cruise, depending on where I am working and what kind of vacation time I have. If I am with my current employer, it will probably be a 7-day. If I am with a new employer, it will probably be something shorter, depending on what my vacation time looks like. Again, it's all moving parts. And again, if it is a new employer, I might just do graduation and come on home. And then we'll go from there. If it's not Phoenix, like I said, we'll see what other graduations they have. And I'm not dead set on Phoenix. It's just, I know that's what they had this past January. Other than that, it's been this week they sent the email saying that they were working on finalizing the associate degree. So it's been about 5 days since they sent that email. I think, let's see if I can see it from this phone. My other phone is in my bedroom. Nope, I can't see it from this phone. It's been about 5 days since I sent that email, so it's about 40 days I'm looking at before I get my physical degree, and I have my frame over there
and it will go on this wall as of right now in this apartment. And yep, because that's the wall that I'm going to put my desk on when I get my desk. But that's pretty much it for this week. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. I do feel better this week. I started the 75 soft yesterday. I was supposed to start last weekend, but I was procrastinating, especially since I wasn't feeling well. I should have been started the 75 soft. I should have started that when I started walking, because I do about 45 minutes of physical activity every day anyway, given that I am walking. So with the 75 soft, let me go get my other phone, and I can tell y'all what the 75 soft is. All right, so 75 soft. So I'm doing 75 soft. My best friend is doing 75 hard. So 75 soft, you eat well and only drink alcohol during special occasions. You drink 3 liters of water per day. Exercise for 45 minutes per day, plus 1 active recovery day per week. And you read 10 pages of any book per day, and it said no progress photos required. I'm still taking a progress photo every day. 75 hard is you follow a diet with no cheat meals and no alcohol. You drink 1 gallon of water per day, and you have 2 45-minute workouts per day. 1 must be an outside workout. You read 10 pages of nonfiction reading per day, and you take a progress photo every day. So that's the difference between the 75 hard versus the 75 soft. I'm still doing my wine making. If you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, I post a weekly video of how that's going. The banana wine is still darker than the orange wine, which is amazing. But they're both clearer in week 3 than they were in week 1. And I think as we get to week 4, I'm going to be starting a new wine. Thinking about dragon fruit. I got a number of different wines and flavors I'm thinking about. I thought about dragon fruit. The person that I saw that was doing the wine, she did a sweet potato. The peach keep coming up in my mind. Number of different flavors keep coming up. I don't know. I have to look at the recipe book and decide before I commit. So I don't know. But I think that's going to be it for now. This week has been a slow week. I won't say it was a boring week, because I did do more this week than I have in past weeks. But yeah. I want to talk y'all ear off at the end of the week, like I've been doing. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, drop down some comments below, and continue to follow me on all social media platforms, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Have a good one.